What's up, everybody? A couple videos back, I told you guys to send in any suggestions you had of any prizes you wanted me to play on Toreba. One of the supporters asked me to try the Darth Vader figure. It's always been an extremely difficult setup, but with a little bit of luck and a whole lot of studying, I was able to put together a plan of attack to win this awesome figure. So let's take a look at the plays now. Thank you for watching.
Alright, let's get into this one because we got a lot of plays to go through. We got the Darth Vader here, Darth Vader figure from Toreba, and this setup's kind of crazy. We got a platform with the sticky bar in the front, and the prize lays on top of it. But there's a twist. There's a bag of gems that's connected to the top of the box, so it throws the weight off. I came into the room with it teetering over the front bar that much. So I figured this is the closest I'm going to get to winning this without having to go from the initial set point. So I'm thinking going behind the bar and then lifting up slightly and hope that when it drops it, it teeters over the bar into the prize chute. Not really much movement on that. It's just moving the front of the figure over to the right and straightening out the box. So eventually I'm going to have to change up my play and maybe even go for the front edge. This one, I'm going for the back again. I'm getting decent lifts, so that's what I'm going to go with. Here we go. Opens up, and it looks like I went far right. It definitely looks like I went too far right, but no. When I'm going for the back edge, that is perfect. And you'll see why on the next play. Because in the next play, I'm not going to go as far right. Watch this. I go over, and it's just not as far as it was. It's not even centered to the box. And watch what happens. I go for the front edge, and it just doesn't grab. And that is because of what I call the lowest point theory. Now, what do I mean by lowest point theory? We're going to take a look at it in this next play. I go further right than I did on the try before, and as the catcher travels back, we'll be able to visualize the LPT, or the lowest point theory. Lowest point theory meaning that when the catcher is closed, the shovels are at its lowest point. Here we can see the height of the shovels before it opens, and after the catcher opens, we can see that the height of the shovels is a few inches above its lowest point when the catcher's closed. The height of the shovels range anywhere in between when the catcher's fully open to its LPT, when the catcher's shovels are closed and at its lowest point. So we go a little further right, and voila, the shovel's underneath the prize, and it's lifting it up. Getting that lift where you can only get with the LPT, lowest point theory. The previous try, I went further left, and the right shovel was not able to get underneath the figure. So, it looks like I'm going too far right for the figure, and I'm going to miss it, but not really. Depending on where I want to pick it up is how far I want to travel right. I went far enough right to pick up the back of the box, and there it is. I got the little bit of a lift that I needed to slightly shake the box over that front bar. So it's going to take some work. I know that, and I've seen the play on this machine before, and I've definitely watched people dump a bunch of money into this. I'd say if it was fully set, this figure would cost a couple $100 to get into the prize chute. But there's my first stab. Right there's the first time that I hit the bar. You gotta choose. You gotta go behind the bar or you gotta go in front of the bar. The figure is lower in front of the bar, so I might have got glitched out going for the front and it just stabbed. I know going behind the bar is just gonna swing the front end forward, so I want to get more of a lift, and there it is. I got more of a jostle over the front bar by going in front of the bar instead of behind it. Perfect play, and that's a light at the end of the tunnel that I needed to see to know that this thing's winnable. I know that going in front of the bar is going to scoot the box forward, and going behind the bar is going to pivot the front of the box more perpendicular. Let's go back behind the bar. I hope I went far enough right though. This looks dicey, but I think it gets underneath. Behind the bar, the figure is higher than the front, so that's going to be an easier grab. It's going to matter less if I go further right, and the lowest point theory is not going to come in as much play as it will as if I go for the front. So here I went further right because I know I'm going for the front edge. Go far right so it looks like it's going to miss, but when it closes, it's perfect underneath that box to get the little bit of a lift that it needs to bring the box forward and right instead of just swinging the front of the box. Front of the bar worked pretty good, so I'm going to try one more on the front of the bar. I go further right than it seems to grab the front edge, and then stop the catcher just in front of the front bar and get that little bit of a lift. Man, that wasn't as good as a lift as the try before, so I know my next try is going to be behind the bar. And that's where I go here. Try 12 if you're counting. We're going to go far enough right so LPT comes into play, and then I want to stop the catcher just in front of the bar. Those bars are sticky and they're unforgiving, so I can't go too far back, and that looks pretty good. Yeah, that was the best jump yet. The most progress, that was a forward progress. Most of it was just swinging the front of the box to make it perpendicular, but that was a really good jump, guys. So I'm going front again. I saw that much progress, and I think it's doing more progress, forward progress, by going in front of the bar than behind the bar, so that's where I'm going. Right here, go far enough right, LPT, and a little bit of a shake, but it is less. It's getting less and less every try. I know I'm going to have to do something different and probably just go for the back behind the bar. One more try for the front edge. I go far enough right, and that looks good to grab the front. Now, if it doesn't grab it here, I know I got to do something different for sure. Goes all the way down, and sure enough, LPT comes into play, and the lowest point where the shovels would be closed, it's just not low enough to grab underneath the figure. One more try for the front edge. I'll go far enough right, and that looks like it'll clear on the right side if it gets down far enough. But let's see. LPT or not, that is just not far enough, guys. The front of the box is too low, and it's never going to pick it up. Though on this try, I did go a little further towards the camera than I did in any previous try. I have to go for the back. Go far enough right, and get under the bag on that right side. That's what I want to do. Just be on the back bar, and I'm hoping it doesn't spin it. And what do we get here? Come on. We get the teeter that we need. We didn't get the front of the box to spin like before. We actually got some movement forward towards the camera, towards the prize chute, towards the win. Let's go for that one more time. Far right. That's the farthest right I've went in any try. You can see, it looks like I'm going to grab it with only the left claw. But watch, LPT comes into play, and when it comes up, it still grabs it with that right claw, and there it is. Oh my goodness. So close. Blood in the water. I smell it. I know it's coming soon. The win is almost here. We're just going to go same thing. Far right. This is even further right than the last try. I have even more confidence in the LPT. Let's go. Further we go down, maybe the better grab we're going to get. The more of a teeter we're going to get. Lifts it, and almost. So close. Check this out. Oh man, it wanted to go. I think on the next try, maybe even one or two more, we're going to get it in. 18th try right here. We're going to go for 19. Not too bad. 250 a try. You guys could do the math. Haven't won from this setup either. I only see very sought after figures in setups with this gem bag attached to it. So here we go. LPT. Remember that for your wins, guys. Remember, if you're not getting low enough, check your LPTs. Got a low enough grab because behind the box is higher. And finally, when it drops, there's more of the box over the bar to where the little shake was enough to throw it in the prize chute. Awesome figure, and honestly it was a steal because I didn't have to play it from where the figure was originally set. Big shout out to the supporter who told me to play for this figure and wanted to see a win from this Darth Vader. It pushed me to figure out new techniques to win from a setup that I've never won from before. If you guys take away anything from this video, remember LPT, and may the force be with you.
Well, there's my first figure Hitman for Hire attempt. Took a couple more tries than I wanted to, but was still able to get the win from a new setup that I've never won from before. Big shout out to the supporter who suggested to play for this Vader figure. I know as well you're an eBay supporter, so huge shout out to you for keeping this thing rolling and keeping this channel alive, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you want to help support the channel and buy some of the prizes, check in the description for the link to the eBay store. If you enjoyed this one, give it a like and a comment. If you haven't done it already, subscribe to the channel. Have a wonderful day and be well. Peace.